Well, good morning. Welcome in, folks. How are you? The live stream of... Oh, I'm not even recording. Bad start. Damn it. It's embarrassing. How do I do that? The live stream of the Eric Zane Show podcast is brought to you this time around by Terrytown RV. They are in Grand Rapids, Michigan, a long division between 68th and 76th Street. Hope you check them out if you need a camper, travel trailer, fifth wheel motorhome. You name it. The folks at Terrytown RV, they are the ones to go to. You go online, you find the one you like, you make a call, or even just say, call me, and they'll call you. They can take care of business that way or in person, however you like, at Terrytown RV. Getting out and experiencing various parts of the country or maybe just close to home for the kids, whatever it may be. I'm telling you, those memories that you make are the absolute best, and they will remember those for a long, long time. So keep that in mind. If you're sitting around getting a little cabin fever, staring at the walls, what the hell are we going to do? You might want to consider getting into a travel trailer, fifth wheel motorhome RV at Terrytown RV. Sorry. Okay, so thanks to them. They, of course, as I said, terrytownrv.com. While I'm at it, bringing you the live stream of the Eric Zane Show podcast, A&E Heating and Cooling, Senor Martinez. You can get a hold of Joe Martinez at 616-516-8579, part of the army of amazing sponsors that help make this show possible. Thank you. Okay, so if you get in the weeds, you need an after-hours service call, or maybe you just want to check up on your setup, reach out to Joe and his crew, 616-516-8579. Word on the street is that Senor Martinez is considering maybe a bit of an expansion, adding a truck. If that's the case, you will be witnessing the building of his local business from the ground up. Because, for the longest time, it was, no brick and mortar store, just the van. Well, I'm hearing rumblings that because of you reaching out to him and helping him build his business, that he might be able to expand himself a little bit. And so that would mean so much more for him and excellent for the community. So you're helping this guy do his thing. Reach out to Joe at 616-516-8579. He installs the Comfort Maker heaters and air conditioners. Comfort with confidence. And then finally, we got a party coming up on August 21st at Great Lakes Winery, Brewery, Distillery. That is going to be 7 p.m. to when we get done. So that is going to be a good time. The Eric Zane Show podcast, Great Legs Get Together, is what I like to call it. That is Friday, the 21st of August. I will see you there. If you could, give me an RSVP via email, or just, I'm going to make a Facebook post today, and you can just give me a heads up on that in the comments, whether or not you are coming. All right, we are podcasting on this, the 10th of August, from beautiful, sunny California, the Westwood neighborhood of Los Angeles, on the campus of UCLA. It is Kidney Quest 2020. The Eric Zane Show podcast begins now.
And now, here's a guy who got tired of being fired by corporate radio. So he took up being fired by Patreon subscribers instead. It's the Eric Zane Show podcast.
All right, welcome in. Thank you, Johnny. Welcome to the Eric Zane Show podcast. Glad you are here. So, to you, on this edition of the Eric Zane Show podcast, whether you're enjoying it on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or getting it pre-recorded on the on-demand audio, to you, I'm like way late to most of you. Most of the people listening to my show do not get the show on the West Coast time zone. All right? But to me, this is the absolute appropriate time. That's an on-time start to me by maybe a minute or two. I might have been a minute or two off. But we have special arrangements being made today because of starting here on the West Coast. So, yeah, that's a little different for you all, but thank you for having the patience and still checking it out. As you know, I do the show live every day. The stream is on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Like I mentioned, Facebook brought to you by Irvine's. YouTube, that's the Blue Frost IT thing. And YouTube, if you could. Wait, I think I got that mixed up. Twitter is a Blue Frost IT thing. Facebook is Irvine's. YouTube is still sponsorless. It has a sponsor, but I still haven't said what it is. And if you can on YouTube, follow me on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notifications, give me a thumbs up, and listen to the video or watch a video while you're watching it on Facebook or Periscope. Doesn't matter. As long as it's up and running, that helps me. Thank you very much. Okay, so what are we doing today? First of all, I got to get my shit in order because I'm kind of scattered here. There's no question, because whenever I get into a new setting, there is a little bit of a, not a ton, but there is somewhat of a learning curve. I've gotten used to the show going to different places and doing it, so it's a little easier. But sometimes the first show, maybe show and a half, I'm like, wait, okay, where is things? I'm reaching for things that aren't there, you know? But still, it's not bad. I actually love the fact that we can just pick this stuff up and go anywhere. This is a great setup here in California that I have. So one of the things you might notice is the sound is a little different. Occasionally, I guess it just depends on the room. I'm like looking not only at the camera, but there's a wall on the other side of the camera, and there's a little bit of an echo. It's just one of those things. You probably don't even notice it, but to me, it's like, oh God, wreck my day. But whatever. There is a lot to talk about. My gosh, since we last left Friday, a lot has happened in the world to talk about, and a lot has happened personally. So this is going to be one of those shows. You know, there's just a lot of things happening. First off, this story just developed within the last hour. I see Zaniac Mitch reached out to me and tipped me off, and that got me searching out some of the details of it. College football is starting to fold on the season because of the pandemic. I'll talk about that. We've got a new clubhouse leader to discuss when it comes to Crazy Cat Lady. This one is a Michigan story. I stumble upon a lot of my stories are from the Michigan area, but it doesn't matter where it's from. This is a ridiculous story. Also, a story that is based in Michigan, where we've got crazy cat people and we've got crazy racists in Michigan. But I think those things can happen anywhere. A crazy elected official racist outs himself. Do you hear this guy? It's a miracle that this dude. Now, he was like the road commissioner in a community known as Leelanau County up north near like Traverse City. That's a Traverse City thing. This sick son of a bitch. Wait till you hear the boldness at which he outed himself. And then, it's a little bit of a sad state of affairs, because if you're that bold to out yourself the way he did, and you'll hear it, that everybody knew that about the guy in the first place, yet they still made this guy an elected official. It's sickening. The Washington football team, that's what they're known as now, the professional Washington football team, might want to hire some help in the social media department. This isn't a huge deal. It's actually, if you're the Washington football team, you're like, we'll take this for being in the headlines and what it has been leading up to the name change. Schools in my area are cracking down on how kids dress for school. It isn't even in my area. Schools all over the country are cracking down on how kids dress for school, even when they're not in school. I'll explain that to you. The trolling has begun for Toronto Blue Jays catcher Reese McGuire. So I've got all of those things to get to. I don't know if I will get to them all. You know how it is with this show. It's like, all right, I've already gone too long. I'll save it for Patreon, which is kind of like a catch-all for even more things. And if you haven't ever seen a live stream of a Patreon show, it's really spectacular. It's a little bit different than this one, because you have, when I do the live stream, there's only maybe at most 20 people that are watching it. Okay, so you get to interact with these people easier because there's fewer of them. So my friends that are enjoying the Patreon, I'm like, hey, how you doing? And like, we have conversations. There's something really ridiculous that happens. Oh my God! Lately, it has just been on fire. There was on Friday, if I remember correctly, Kenny from Nashville, Tennessee, suggested I play a song by this dude who makes parody songs. I forget his name, Doesn't matter. And the guy, it's the dude who did that. You look so amazing in that sundress. And then he also is the guy who did this.
About to burn some calories on my dick.
Well, the guy also has done a parody song. He does parody songs about terrible things that have happened in the news. And there was a dude who wiped out his family a couple years ago because of an affair. And this dude did a song about it, and we played it on the Patreon. It was so cringeworthy, I couldn't believe it. I think some of them were like, all right, I'm out. I think Tyler was like, I can't handle it. It's too terrible. That's the type of fun stuff. Hey, a guy wiped out his family. Let's have fun with that. Anyway, so a lot of the times I say what I do on the Patreon. Let me just tell you that this podcast right now may be being heard by a brand new listener who is related to me. It's my dear cousin, Mary. More on my adventure with Mary yesterday. My dad's brother is my Uncle Garo, and he passed some time ago, but that's Mary's dad. Well, anyway, I got to hang out with Mary yesterday, and she says to me, so what do you tell me about the radio business? And I go, well, the radio business ended. I said, do you listen to podcasts? She goes, oh, yeah, sure. And so I explained to her what's going on here. So this is one of those worlds colliding moments, you know? And she goes, okay, well, here's my phone. Go to your podcast and subscribe me to it. I go, okay. So she's driving, click, 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 subscribe. And then right away, I'm like, oh, man, it's just, I don't know. It just seems, I don't know why I do this, but when I find out that people that are close to me I'm always like, I think I should give a disclaimer or something about what's going on with this podcast. So I gave a little one, and it's always me. It's not them. You know, it's like I'm like, well, you know, just so you know, I say some pretty crazy shit from time to time on there, and I'm pretty strong in my opinions, and I'm usually wrong in them. So it's probably going to piss you off at some point, and I swear like an idiot. She goes, I don't care about any of that. All right, cool. So, all right. So that's what's going on. That's what we have coming up today, but there's a lot to get to in this open of the show. Eric, why are you in Los Angeles? Most of you know I'm trying to donate a kidney. Thus, the Eric Zane Show podcast, Kidney Quest 2020. Or kidney, what did I term it as? Kidney, is it Kidney Quest? Kidney Donor Quest 2020. I'm not receiving the kidney. I'm trying to give the kidney. I've got... People usually, I think there's people who think, hey, are you doing this for money? Let me just get this out of the way quick. That is incredibly illegal. And no, I'm not doing this for money. That is a ridiculous thing to suggest. I explained to you many times what happened. And so if there's anybody that's like, oh yeah, he's trying to make some cash, I was like, no, I'm hard up, but I'm not gonna engage in illegal organ harvesting for cash. No, nothing like that. Let's be real here. Come on. So I am here. The guy who I want to donate it to, I haven't really revealed who he is, and you don't know him, but you know, this whole quest to get this done, we're working our way through it, and this is a really big week because there's all sorts of testing that has to happen this week. That the people at the transplant facility on the campus of UCLA, they wanted me to be here for it. I go, all right, let's do it. Okay, I'm all yours. So that's the plan. So there's all sorts of various testing that goes on today, and I should say this week. And then if all goes well, then we take the next step. So one step at a time, get through this week, and we'll see what we're doing. If I come back with a flawless health record, and I have no reason to think that I would have anything but that, then we'll see what's going on. With a little bit of luck, keep your fingers crossed. I'll be able to get this guy one of my kidneys, and then I'll convalesce for a few weeks. Heck, I convalesce every day. Outside of sitting down for too long, which might be a little bit of an issue. There's no reason why I can't just continue on with my day-to-day living, except for maybe I don't think I'll be training for a marathon for the next couple of months after that happens. But no one's taking a kidney out of me right now. This is all way down the road. It takes time. They're really good at making sure all the details are taken care of. So yeah, this is that's what's going on. So the travel over to Los Angeles. When packing most of the stuff, I took the supercritical equipment and put it in a carry-on bag. And then all the cords and things like that. Again, it's not a ton of stuff I put in the suitcase. Went over, checked in, boom, on the plane. It seems like there's a lot more people traveling with pets these days. I don't know if that has to do with the anxiety level of the pandemic or what. Not so much Grand Rapids to Detroit, but Detroit to Los Angeles, loaded with dogs. 3 pooches, and I'm pretty sure they're all, well, I know they are, all the support animals. You know how it is. I was kind of disappointed. I was hoping I'd see like a horse, maybe a penguin, perhaps a llama standing in the aisle. I don't know if you can do that anymore, but I have a thing about the people with pets, the support animals. I wish we could get past the idea that we're not supposed to pet them because they're working, you know? I always get the impression that the people who have the animal, no offense, but you seem kind of dickish with the fact that you've got an animal. Do you think maybe you could, I don't know, just maybe have a little petting zoo thing? Maybe go tour the place, tour the terminal that you're in and let everybody pet little Scrappy? Because these dogs sure were cute, and I'm a huge dog person, so all I wanted to do was go and pet pooches. I've been apart from mine for even 1 minute, and I'm freaking out. So all I wanted to do was go pet these guys who are already about to snap, go and pet their dogs. Nope, can't do that. This big sign, don't pet me. It's like, I feel so bad for the dogs because they just sit there and they wait for the guy who's got it. And it was all dudes, 3 dudes. The dog's sitting there waiting for the person to, like, I don't know, start breathing heavy, tap their foot a weird way, and then the dog will run in their lap and take care of them. But I always get bummed out for the dog because it seems like the dog is kind of like working too hard and is bored and almost, you know what I mean? Show a little bit more love, perhaps, for the anxiety animal that's going on the plane. And I don't think the dog wants to be on the damn plane to begin with. So we take off. I did something that I haven't done in quite some time because it's a long flight from Detroit to Los Angeles. I think it was it's a 4-hour and 20-minute flight, which just, you know, when ADHD Eric sees that, I'm like, oh my God. What? I thought at the most it was like 3 hours. And I'm like, shit. Okay. Everybody's got a mask. You know, there was nothing mask related that was weird leading up to this point of the adventure. And that continued. I brought a book. Now, I haven't read anything in the longest time, but this is a true crime book called Night Stalker. This is the true story of Richard Ramirez. Richard Ramirez was a vicious, horrible serial killer in the 1980s, and his hunting ground was right here, for God's sake. So of all the books to get, here I am flying into Los Angeles reading about this serial killer who's doing it in Los Angeles. This is the guy who wore the AC/DC hat, and AC/DC's song Night Prowler was one of the things that he said motivated the guy. If you're AC/DC, you're like, oh, shit, come on, man. But what a sicko. This is a crazy, crazy book, the story of Richard Ramirez and how they caught this guy. Stand by. So I ended up getting to like 100 pages of that. I'm like, yes, watch the list. Okay, it was all crime on the way to Los Angeles because then I finished up the latest season of Mindhunter. On Netflix. Awesome. Plane lands. Uber. You know what they do at Uber? You click, come get me. And then it says, from the airport to where you're going